Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Monday Mornings with Melissa. Today we are talking money mindset, which is something that I specifically don't talk about a lot, but we're talking about overcoming the fear of making money, making more money, a lot of money, all good things, right? The first thing I would say is when we think about, we know that most businesses don't make it, right? Whether that's brick and mortar, online, doesn't matter. So what are the biggest factors? What are the biggest factors of businesses not making it, right? Not making it. And it really comes down to four things, right? You've got poor management, meaning that you as the business owner and the CEO are not leading the team or leading a movement, right? So poor management is number one. Number two would be lack of mentorship, lack of planning or strategy, right? Because we need all of those things. Number three is not enough time spent on sales. And that ties into number four, which is your money mindset beliefs. And so those are the four reasons that most businesses go out of business, right? Some symptoms of money mindset issues might be discounting your prices. Have you ever done that? Oh my gosh. It's normally I would charge $5,000, but if you sign up today, it's like $1,000, right? Discounting prices, playing small versus playing full out. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Number three would be feeling the need to be all the things to all the people instead of hiring someone or outsourcing, not asking for the sale. Have you guys ever done that? Have you ever gone live and you totally meant to make a pitch and then you just kind of didn't? Or you were on a sales call and you had a great conversation and they might have said yes, but you just were like, okay, nice combo, see you later. Money mindset, right? It could be something like you're launching, but then when you show up during your launch videos, you're not showing up very powerfully. You're kind of timid and you're kind of shrinking back. It could be secret, putting out an offer and secretly hoping no one signs up. I've been there, done that. So I've done all of those things. And those are just a few, right? There's lots and lots of symptoms. So no matter who you are, no matter what your past was and what it looks like we all have these stories, all of us, even the richest people, right? And if we can't change those stories, or if we can't up-level ourselves to create a new story, then we remain stuck no matter what that story is. Okay. So I also have really wrapped my head around the fact that we are all worthy. We are all worthy of whatever the thing is that we want, our deepest desires, right? And money is a part of that equation. And it's not the money itself, but the money does open doors for us to reach more people, to change more lives, to protect our family, to fulfill our passions, right? And I want you to embrace that running your own business, not just running your own business, but profitably running your own business, making a lot of revenue through your business gives you the opportunity to take care of other people, right? Your business can be a force for good in the world, right? Your services, I know a lot of you guys, what you do can changes lives, right? It makes a difference. So money is going to give you the opportunity to change lives, to be a great employer, right? To give people jobs, to pay more taxes. Don't get me started on taxes, but taxes are they're good, right? They help other people. They fuel the economy. Economy is just the flow of money, right? It has to go back and forth. Tip number one is to always be brutally honest with yourself. And I know the word brutally is kind of brutal, right? But be brutally honest with yourself at all times, because it is the only way to truly open yourself up to change. And it's also really hard to do because we have to release blame, right? We have to own our own story, whether that's good, bad, or ugly. But we have to own it, right? Because it's the story that we're telling ourselves, and no one else can change it except you, because you are the only one that's in charge of your life. Tip number two is to surround yourself with people who are doing tip number one, right? Who own their story, good, bad, or ugly, or have already changed their story already, right? So surround yourself with those people. So I want you to think about who you're surrounding yourself with. Money mindset equation number one is the thoughts that I have plus the feelings produced by those thoughts equal the actions that I take, which lead to the results that I have. This equation can change everything, right? So I'm gonna go through a couple of examples. So let's say your thought is that nobody is gonna pay this much for my services. Nobody's gonna pay this much. That's your thought. The feeling then would be something like low confidence, maybe some imposter syndrome, all of that, that stuff. What happens then is that you discount your prices. That's the action that you take. That action is going to lead to your results, which might be that you attract the wrong audience and nobody pays for even the discounted prices. Okay, do you see how that kind of works? Your thoughts produce feelings. Those two coupled together creates the action that you take or don't take, right? The decisions that you make, which lead to the results that you get. You change the way you see things, the things that you see change. So if you can catch yourself before the action, that's when this equation is going to help you. But if you don't believe in that system, the strategy or the plan, it won't work, right? It won't work. So it doesn't matter how good the system or the plan or the strategy works, it's your belief in the system, the strategy or the plan. For me, knowing that I will have mindset issues and all that stuff, like I'm always trying to put myself into places of contraction and stretching so that I can expand. And when you think about your own story and in your own past, I want you to think about, because for me, when I look back, everything that was really good, everything good that has happened to me came off of the tail end of doing or being or putting myself in a really uncomfortable place. Everything, whether I put myself there or it was just given to me. But growth is scary, right? Growth, that is what growth is. Playing full out is scary. Putting yourself in the room with someone who's already been there is scary. Like fear is part of this game. But expansion comes from contraction. So we all want contraction, we all want expansion, but contraction has to come first. I want you to learn to build a relationship with that discomfort, because that's where the breakthrough happens. And use your own story and the things from your past as evidence that this is true. And there's another quote, again, I'm probably going to mess it up a little bit. I don't know who said it. It wasn't me, but it's the caves that we fear to enter hold the treasures that we seek. Remember, thoughts plus feelings equal action, which lead to results. If there are money stories or thoughts going on in your head and you're not doing anything about them, it's like you're the spring ignoring the fact that you were born to expand, because you're a spring, right? You're not a block, you're a spring. So I want you to understand that you are in control of your thoughts, which produce your feelings, which together result in the actions that you take, which lead to the results that you get, right? It's kind of like do, be, have, right? Do the scary thing, take the massive action until you believe, until you change your thoughts completely, until you build new habits, until you become the person so that you can have, right? But in order for this one to work, you have to reverse engineer it. Here's my caveat, right? You have to be aware of the B part, okay? Without awareness of the B part, you're gonna allow your thoughts and feelings, right? So up here, thoughts plus feelings equals action, right? If you're not aware of the B part, you're gonna allow those thoughts and feelings to change the do part. You see? So these equations are really the same underlying truth, but they're two different approaches. So this equation doesn't work unless the do part is massive, right? So we can't play small here. The only way this equation works is if you go all in, you play full out on the do, okay? Until your mindset catches up with you. But that's why we have to reverse engineer it, right? Because you can take all the action in the world, right? You can do thousands of live videos and never make $1 if your energy is not behind it, right? So the action doesn't matter without the energy behind it. And really, you can start to see how these two equations, they really intermix, right? But for me, sometimes I have to just go do the scary thing. I'm like, okay, I want to get to 8 figures, which means that I'm going to need to hire this particular team, right? And that's freaking scary because I'm not at 8 figures yet. But guess what? I got to do the scary thing. And then I start to see that, like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can lead this team to 8 figures. And then I start to become that person, and then my results start to fall behind. So I want you to take these two, whichever one resonates. Maybe you want to take both of them and use them, right? Every time you have things coming up where you don't believe you're worthy, or you don't believe that 7 figures is even possible for you, right? Look at my story. I'm living proof that this works. 7 figures wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even actually believe that was a possibility for me. I thought that was like out there for the select few, but I took the massive action. I knew what I needed to do. I did it over and over and over again. And then I became the person who can lead a 7-figure company. Didn't happen overnight. I hope that you guys will use this. This is what works for me still to this day. Still to this day, when every time that I'm up against myself, right? Because that's what it is. We're up against ourselves. This is what I use to get through it. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Awesome. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.